I've been losing lots of keys lately. I don't know what that means, but maybe I'd be better off with things that can't be locked. I'm breaking out of boxes, I'm taking off these chains. Don't need your expectations. No, I'm building my own name. My God. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I have a friend who's probably going to join us in a little bit. We're going to talk about veterans and acting. Good morning, everyone. Obviously, the beard is growing. Oh, it's not a life choice. I'm not going through anything. It is a work choice. Those y'all on Twitch, I still need to upload some emotes for y'all. I'll do it today. Sometime. My bad. While I wait for my boy, we'll watch a couple sponsors real quick. I'm gonna take off the sweater because I'm getting hot in here. And some exciting news we'll talk about later. But first,
what's up? It's your boy VinnyRoc from the VinnyRoc podcast. Just want to talk about Core Medical Group. Yes, TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. I use it. It's very important that you guys go get your blood work done. Hit them up. I can give you a number to my personal dude. He will square you away. For some reason, us over 25 guys who've been in the military and now out have a testosterone issue. You want mental health, you want physical health, you want personal growth. Go hit them up. Check out Core Medical Group. Oh, you know what else they do? Erectile dysfunction meds. None of my business. But I promise if you guys are interested, they'll be discreet. Send it to your house, directly to you. Telemedicine type shit. Your boy loves you. Go hit him up. Core Medical Group.
Let me get a couple more sponsors in here because I got a boy. He's waiting behind the scenes. Knockout. Ooh, you know which one always pumps me up? 5x5.
My thing, splitting these lanes, making sure the streets all know my name. Made a few dollars, but ain't nothing changed. A lot of new faces, but my friends still the same. Cause this is how I roll, this is how I ride. Keep it 100 till the day that I die. This is how I roll, this is how I ride. Got me a band of brothers by my side. Got me a band of brothers by my side. I'm right here, I ain't going nowhere. Blood, sweat, and tears, whiskey, shining beers. Lot of travel miles in this rear view mirror. Watching my back, but never running from my fears. Made a few wrong turns over these years. This is how I roll, this is how I ride. Keep it 100 till the day that I die. This is how I roll, this is how I ride. Got me a band of brothers by my side. Got me a band of brothers by my side.
Good morning. All right, let me get my boy in here real quick. Let's see. So I got some cool banner that usually when I bring someone on, let me add it. I do all this on my own, all jacked up. So just give me a sec. That might work. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Let me just take off the other one, and we're good to go. See, this will look better. There it is. What up, dog?
What up? What up? Good
Can you hear
morning.
me, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, how about me?
Good, bro. Yeah, I hear you good. What's up, Andres? We got people. So we're live right now on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and Twitter. So, I mean, we can get questions from all places. I usually just you'll hear me shout them out here and there. But I go live every Wednesday, Thursday morning from 8 to 9 Mountain Standard Time. And there's no agenda, almost never, just BSing. Got my sponsors I go through. Besides that, I really talk about life, dude. I talk about my family. Last week, I think I talked about fitness. The other day, I had a financial advisor on here for people that had questions about financial literacy.
Very good.
I mean, just things that I go through in my life, like in my day, you know what I'm saying, that I kind of just bring to the conversation is usually what happens. And so what's been on my mind a lot. Hey guys, this is Matt Streeter. Matt Streeter is me and him are in the Writers Guild, the Veteran Writers Guild program, and essentially we are in a program for a year long, and we are learning how to develop and structure and write a script, and we're going to get an opportunity to pitch it to some of the networks. And so we're really excited about the program of getting in it. There's a lot of people applied for it, very few made it, and so we are currently working on our script. Everyone has their own, right? And so this has been driving me crazy recently, Matt, and that's why I wanted to get you on here to talk about one. A lot of veterans ask about how to get into film and television. I got a message just last night from a guy. And then two, just writing these scripts. I'm watching a movie right now that really is like emotionally a TV show that's emotionally fucking me up. So I want to have you on here, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Glad to talk about it.
So, dog, tell me real quick. Give me a little bit about your background first from military.
Yeah, I was in active 9 years, U.S. Army. Started off artillery, and it was not really my cup of tea. I wanted to actually see what I'm shooting at, so I reclassed to airborne infantry. And I was with 82nd for my remaining 5 years and got out as a disabled vet. Got shot, got banged up jumping out of airplanes. So even though I'm in the best shape of my life, I'm technically a 70% disabled veteran.
Yeah.
I got out, and like a lot of us do, got into security. And as far as military, that's what I did.
So when you got out of the military, what year did you get out?
Got out in 04.
Damn, nice. Okay.
End of 04.
So you got out in 04, and then when did you decide you wanted to transition into film and television?
Well, let me tell you, it's a funny story because, again, I was doing security. I actually was looking at joining starting in the music industry. So I was taking classes in music, moved out here to New York.
What kind of music?
And specifically hip hop and R&B. I actually was working at Sony Music Studios in Manhattan just before they closed, and they offered me a job at the corporate place in Manhattan, and the corporate gig wasn't really my bag, So I wanted to work in the studios, but studios didn't exist. They tore them down shortly after I started working there. So I figured it was on to the next adventure. And
wait, don't stop, don't pass that. This is interesting.
Okay.
So
I had a great opportunity. I actually worked with Common on his album, his Grammy Award-winning album B. I worked with a lot of people there.
What do you do essentially? Is it music engineering?
Yeah, it was music engineering, right? Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I was working the boards, the mixers, learning how to do that, engineering.
That's cool, man. No, I love music. So I've been doing music on my spare time. I knock out like a song every probably 3 months. I knock out a song and do singer-songwriter bullshit.
Okay, so you got all these artistic endeavors, man. You got the acting, you got the screenwriting, the music.
Well, I got into acting genuinely. So I wanted to be a writer my whole life, like since I was little.
Yeah.
Like young. I remember elementary writing a lot, but I was dyslexic, and I graduated high school with a very low reading level. I'm talking 5th grade-ish. It was a time when like everyone kind of ignored it. I was good at baseball. I got kind of passed in all my classes. I went to summer school every year since middle school, just trying to catch up on all my English classes. My parents both worked, so they weren't really, they didn't know that there was a significant issue. It was just kind of like my teachers always, he sucks at English, right? And so, but I wanted to be a writer. I remember since I was young, I said it in high school to someone, to one of my friends, I said, I'm going to be a writer someday. But everyone kind of like laughed because I couldn't read very well. And I definitely couldn't spell for shit. So that kind of was my own thing. When I was in the military is when I started journaling a lot. And that's when I was like,
really, really great tool. Yep.
Yeah, dude. I journaled like crazy. I still have probably boxes of green books. You know, those green poop books.
Yeah. The waterproof paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
I filled those bitches up and I got boxes of them, dude, of stories and stories, right?
Okay.
And what got me into really, I'd started doing theater in college, and that was because I needed the good grades. I couldn't read really well. I couldn't do any classes good. So the easy A's were coming from theater.
Right.
So I realized I loved what I was doing with theater. Is fun, but baseball was everything for me. Right. And then the same aspect is I still wanted to write. I just didn't know how to get into that space. When I started doing YouTube later on, which you probably saw the YouTube videos I did back in the day with like Matt Best and Jerry Taylor with Article 15 clothing.
Okay. Yeah.
That was like, man, maybe I can get into the writing space. And so I started kind of writing then. I wrote a couple of blogs that went on to like Havoc Journal and fucking, you know, those ones we know, right? I've written a couple of blogs for several different organizations. And I was like, I'm going to keep writing. And as I'm trying to be a writer, don't know how to be a writer in Hollywood, I land an acting gig. And I'm like, okay. And so as the scripts show up, I'm like more excited about seeing script structure, seeing how the scripts are broken down. Because in my head, I'm learning, I'm soaking all this in, right? I'm soaking like, I'm going to learn how to be a writer one day. And I was really intrigued by Kurt Sutter because, you know, he's this writer who's created some incredible pieces, you know, and then when I get a chance to talk to him, I'm just so intimidated. I really don't get to soak up any information. I'm just nervous out of my fucking ass, right? Like, don't get killed on your first day of job. You know what I mean? Like, don't get killed off set your first week.
Yeah.
And so writing is genuinely the foundation of what I wanted to get into from the first. And so I'm slowly sliding my way into this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
It's such a great opportunity. You know, you and I both, you know, started acting and then kind of segued in. Well, at least for me, I didn't think about writing until after I've been an actor. And I just love that you are creating the worlds. As an actor, you're portraying the world, but as a writer, you're the creator. And it's such an outlet. It's such an, I love it.
It is. You know why I like it? Because me and you could probably experience it. I mean, genuinely, if me and you went to basic training together, went to the went to our unit together, went overseas together, and went home and wrote about it, we would have two completely different stories.
Yeah, no doubt.
Two complete different perspectives. Yeah. And that's like, I think that's what the beautiful thing is. Like, everybody kind of puts life into their own perspective and in their own viewing of it. And why writing? Why do you have thousands and thousands of writers? And why do we have thousands and thousands of films? Some of these are the same love story or the same death story or the same horror story, but told completely fucking different. Yeah. And so that's why I like music and writing, is because like I write songs because I think it's like, it's all a love song, but you know, in the movie with fucking Lady Gaga, it's like the way you see those fucking words, right? The way you perceive life essentially is how you write it. And that's where writing has become so kind of inspirational for me. Is like, it's just cool the way I want to present my writing in my storytelling is different than what, you know.
Absolutely.
What was your first? Yeah, go ahead.
That's how it's an art form. Everyone has a different perspective, you know, and it's art. It truly is art. Yeah.
It is, dude. It's fucking why I guess I'm more excited about writing than a lot of stuff. I love acting. Don't get me wrong. I love the challenges of acting. It's like guys like us who kind of come from a physical space have to use our fucking emotions.
That's right.
That's where acting was like interesting. I was like, oh, this is dope, because my whole life I'm told you can't have emotions. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, bro, let me tell you. As we speak right now, I'm in an acting conservatory, a very elite, hard to get in acting conservatory in Manhattan. And being a vet, bro, I mean, you took acting classes in college. You know how it is. Like some of that, the feelings shit that they want you to explore. Yeah. It's foreign for a lot of us vets, you know, and it's hard to open up to that and just, put down the tough exterior for a second and get in touch with your feelings, as they say.
Yeah, well, it's not only vets, dude. It's our era, right? We
Oh,
also
yeah,
had
yeah.
fathers who were like, "If you cry, you're a bitch," and you're like,
Right.
okay, you know what I'm saying. And now I have a son who's like cries. I'm like, it's all good, pop. It's cool. It's cool to, where's the line as a father trying to raise a tough boy as well as allowing him to feel these things, right? This humanity of life, right? And things that we grew up now as we're older, 40s and shit like that. We're starting to learn like, oh, it's okay to feel these things. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Yeah. And so it's kind of cool, man. I think the acting for me has been more of a therapy than almost anything, because it is giving us permission to feel. Good morning, everybody. I see all you saying good morning. You guys have any questions about Hollywood, about acting, about writing? Feel free to throw the questions up in here, and we will answer them as we go. Dude, so where did you start off in the acting space?
Yeah, man, I really fell ass backwards into it. Let me tell you, because again, I was out in New York doing the music thing, stopped doing it rather abruptly, and I was just doing private security, and I was looking for work. I went on Craigslist back in like 08. I was just searching. I put in the search engine military experience, and of course, NYPD came up. Lots of security jobs came up. But what stood out to me was, in big letters, it said NBC is looking for guys with military experience for a new show. So I was like, well, let me check this out. So I submitted for it. I went to a couple auditions, and it was for this short-lived show on NBC called Kings, you might recall.
Yeah.
And it was dope. It was a great experience. It really opened my eyes to everything that acting has to offer. Not only the like what we talked about, where you're able to express yourself in a different way, but I was well fed, and I love food. And you know how it is on set with Crafty.
I wish it wasn't so good, dog.
I know, man. It's hard to say no to the craft table, right?
Yeah, bro, I go 5 months and I'm like, I fuck up every diet I've ever tried.
Oh man, I'm telling you. But yeah, it was great money, great people. I was well fed. I had an opportunity to do fun stuff, and when we're talking about veterans getting into acting, I think we have an opportunity, unlike pretty much anyone else, to get in the door, because there are a lot of shows and movies that request someone who has military experience, because there's some things that you just can't fake, no matter how great an actor you are.
Yeah, and as a fan of watching film and television, there's the 20 years of war, dog. Everybody watching TV has probably some kind of connection to military nowadays, and you could almost feel the fakeness when someone can't pull it off. And so as a viewer, you're like, that's not, you know what I mean? Or if it's on top, you're like, damn, that's dope. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like watching John Wick, like it's very kind of extreme, but I love watching the handling of his pistol. I love it. Actually pulls me in even more, like, damn, this dude is trained, bro.
Yeah.
And that as a viewer, as a fan, like it keeps me like right on top. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. You can totally, any vet or not even necessarily somebody who served, but somebody who's familiar with service, it stands out when you see something that's not real. It really, it kind of, it makes me pull away from a show when it's just obviously not real, and they didn't take the time, and they didn't respect the service enough to at least hire a consultant to work with the actor a little bit. That really grinds my gears.
You know what's something crazy, bro? And it's probably the first or second episode of mine. It's like one or two, like early on in this motherfucker. I think it's the pilot. I'm in the back of a truck and I'm holding my rifle and I have my finger indexed, right? And I'm trying to show the camera this, right? And I'm just like this. And you know how many text messages, emails, fucking DMs I got from people saying, bro, you can tell you're military just on the way you held that thing.
Just because you didn't have your finger in the trigger well?
Just right here, dog. This is it. I'm just sitting here in the truck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
people were hitting me up left and right. And it's like, it's so fun. This small little nuance of something like that. Like
Yeah.
everybody's like, bro, that dude's military, right? And people hit me, hey, bro, what's your background, bro? Blah, blah, blah. And I
Right.
was like, oh, that's funny. Small
Yeah.
things like that, bro.
Just the way you're
Yeah.
carrying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about like the first time you're on set, bro, and you probably have someone else grabbing your water.
Yeah. Are you talking about like serving me?
Yeah, like a PA, right? Or someone coming to you, right?
Yeah, that's something, man. It really threw me. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
bro.
they almost ad nauseum are asking you if you like anything, what can they do for you? You know, especially if you're a principal. You know, principal,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, is someone who actually has a speaking role. Yeah, you get pampered a lot, and it's we're just not used to that. You know,
Oh,
not only from my military upbringing, but just the way I was brought up. You don't have people serving you. You get your, especially little things like that. You get your own damn water. You know, but
yeah, it's an interesting. Like in my house, my wife likes to serve my dinner, or like, hey, babe, can I get you some? I'm like, yeah, you know. Outside of that, I'm always like, babe, you need some, you need some, you need some. Like all the
you're a
kids, you
good
know what I mean?
man. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
That's
we're
right.
trying to serve everyone else around us, make sure everyone's good, you
Right.
warm enough or whatever. When I got on set, bro, they kept asking me. I said, hey, and I even told you, I said, hey, bro, don't ask me no more. You're good. It's all good. I'm good. I can get my own water, you know?
Yeah.
And
Right.
then later, he didn't know how to address that, right? He didn't know how to come up to me, but he did it respectfully because he knew I was new too, bro. Like
Right.
I was new to this whole trip, bro. He comes to me and goes, listen, bro, I want to tell you, like, there's no disrespect, but I get paid to do this. And if I don't do it, they'll fire me.
That's
So
right.
this
That's
is my
right.
job. And I said, bro, my bad. Like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, my bad, dude. I was like, cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, then bring me water anytime you want. I'll say yes. It's all good. Like,
Yeah. Because if he's not bringing you water, then there's no other purpose for him being there. So you
right. And
might as well.
they're going to be like, well, then we don't need this dude. Get the fuck out of
That's
here. So
right.
like,
That's
we're
right.
keeping him paid too, right? And you know, another thing I learned, Matt, on set was they ever ask you if you need a stunt double, just say yes. Just say yes. Because that's another motherfucker who gets paid, right?
That's
Because
right.
look at yes, and then when I get there, I'll let you know if I need it or not, right? If that day, like all of a sudden, I got a bad back, right? Some days I sneeze and this motherfucker goes out, right? If that day I can't perform this task, whatever it is, like I had to fall through a roof onto a pad,
Okay.
and they just had him there, and he was kind of the tech advisor of making sure I fall the right way and all this while I'm there. And he goes, look, if at any point you pull some or you ain't comfortable, I'm ready dressed. Let's go. I'm like,
Right.
I appreciate you being here. And he's like, I appreciate you saying you needed to be, because that motherfucker gets paid too.
That's right. And they get paid well. Stunt get paid well. Yeah.
If I wasn't so broke, dog, you know what I'm saying? If I wasn't so broke as is, bro, I'd be like, throw me in this.
Well,
stunt.
you know what? Yeah, and you know that's another thing. You know, being a vet, you're like, man, come on, man. I'm not a punk. Let me do this myself. I did a lot of that, and not only do you need to be as a principal, you need to be taking every opportunity you can to run lines, to sometimes rest your body in preparation for another scene. But yeah, you can't take it all on. You know, I'm looking at my hands, thinking about how I really jacked them up. I played the lead in this movie that's actually going to be on DVD next month.
Beautiful.
And I was a detective in pursuit of somebody, and there are all these zombies coming at me, and a couple of the fight scenes, I was like, nah, I'll do that myself. I got so jacked up. I got all these scars on this hand right here just from that scene. And yeah, you don't need to take that on. You don't need to take every single thing on just because you're a tough guy. You know?
For me, I would like to know, like, well, what kind of camera angle we having? Is it gonna show me? Well, then I'll do my thing. But like,
if not,
if it's unnecessary,
yeah.
bro, I'm trying to do 20 years of this, right? I'm trying to pack a retirement out of this bad boy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm cool. And we do these, so we all ride, right? Everyone on the show rides. Not everyone rides as good as others. Some guys like a couple on the show, daily riders, dog, like straight up. Like Frankie, he plays Hank. He's a daily rider. I don't think he owns a car, dog. He just rides. You know what I'm saying?
No matter what time of year, right?
He just rides, bro. He's crazy as fuck. Like he rides. Then you got Richard Cabral, who from the show started riding, and now he rides a lot. Like the dog, he rides like crazy. Everybody rides pretty well. But we usually have these couple weeks where we show up early and we start riding together. And dog, I told him, I don't know if I'm going to do that anymore, because like the last one, The last time we did this, dog, I got a little squirrely. The back tire came out almost from under me. I recorrected. There was oncoming traffic. I'm in a turn, dog, in Santa Clarita Hills. And I was like, yo, bro, I'm an actor, dog. I don't think I really need to be that good at riding this motorcycle right now. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to go home and learn on my own.
Yeah.
We've done lessons and everything, but that was, what am I doing, man? Like, you don't ride that fast in film because they can't catch everything, right? It's just like we got to be organized. And so I was kind of pushing myself as a rider, but I was pushing myself outside of my comfort zones. And then I really was like, man, if I would have went down on this bike, Gilly is written off the show, or Gilly is now in the hospital for whatever reason, right? You know what I mean? They figure that one out.
Laid up for a little while,
right? So Gilly only gets 2 episodes. My family don't get paid. I've just completely screwed myself.
You gotta think about all that. That's right.
Everything, bro. Everything. And so it's crazy. Tell me, what was the most challenging role as an actor? I want to get into writing later, but what was your challenging role as an actor?
Oh man. It's always easy and it's always a guarantee. Like whenever I audition to play a SWAT team commander or a military guy, or even a tough guy like a criminal, no problem, man. I mean, that's my wheelhouse right there. But when I started doing independent films and the little tender moments where I have to emote, but it was a real challenge for me to, once you get into acting, they're going to tell you to internalize and to not be too much. So it was a real challenge for me to express feeling, but not to overact.
Yeah.
And that was a real challenge and a real awakening when I started taking classes and learned that less is more. Less is more. It really is.
Yeah.
And also, of course, I did a sex scene for the Discovery Channel. The show I was doing a lead on, and that was wild. I mean,
being married as well, right? You're married?
I had been married about a year and a half at the time, and I asked her. She gave me the green light. She's like, I know this is what you want to do, this pursuit of acting.
I don't know if my wife will ever give me the green light. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. She's Puerto Rican, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Bro,
no,
she is like,
you might get Lorraine Bobbitt.
I don't know if she'll ever give me the green light, but yeah, dog, that's the first movie I ever did was obviously Range 15. You ever seen that?
No, I saw that on your IMDb though.
Yeah, Range 15 is a movie me and my friends produced. Like, if you don't know the backstory behind it, it's actually kind of cool. So we obviously started Article 15 clothing. We did YouTube, and all that stuff started getting really crazy for us. We decided to crowdfund a movie. We crowdfunded somewhere around like 1.2 million, and then we brought in a couple $100K for other sponsors and stuff like that. So we funded our first movie ever, and with no experience, we brought in a producer and a director, and we made this film. The film is a zombie apocalypse. It's 6 friends go out one night for a bender, and when they wake up in prison, the fucking zombie apocalypse happens, right?
That's
and so
dope.
it sounds really dope until you watch the movie. It's an independent film done by people that don't know what they're doing, and we did everything we could to make it happen, but we spent way more money than we ever should have. And
that's a significant budget.
Bro, it's huge. I don't know if I'd be able to pull that ever again unless I get network involved, right?
Right.
And so in doing that film, it's the first independent film to hit #1 on Amazon for like 2 weeks straight. It is you can find it. It's the 4th highest crowdfund in Indiegogo history. I don't know if that's still, but it was at the time. There is like articles about how we did this. It was just it's unheard of, dude. I don't know if it'll ever be done again, especially by no name actors to just come out here and do that.
For sure.
We still get checks from this residuals of this. It's like a Super Troopers for the military community.
Okay.
It is that bad. Oh, well, those are great. I think Super Troopers are funny as hell. Ours is like a very crude, dark humor. raunchy, but the community still loves it. Like genuinely, if you watched it alone, you'd be like, okay, there's some fucking real funny moments in there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
watch with your wife, she'd be like, what the fuck is this? That's just the truth, right? Like,
Yeah.
and so I did my first sex scene in that movie, and bro, I know the feeling of like, look, I want to do good, but I also this is like not comfortable. It's so weird. And there's like 20 people in the room, and they're like,
That's what I was gonna say. With so many people, there was the one that I did for Discovery. They tried to make it a little bit more intimate. It was literally the DP and the director in the room. That was it.
That's cool.
But sometimes you're right. It's like 20 people, and then being a man, I try not to get too graphic, but things happen, and you don't want to offend your actress counterpart, but she's a pro, you're a pro.
I mean, it's the business, and genuinely, there's no other intentions, and there's no other intention but trying to be a good actor, right?
Yeah.
For the viewer to believe it. That's the goal.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro? That's tough. That's tough. I have more. It's like this. Like, I have not been able to land a role that really gets to show the emotional side too much. I did one movie called Lucy Shimmers and the Prince of Peace, and that was one we did out here in Utah. And it's a faith-based film. It did really well in the Christian market, and that one allowed me to kind of show a level of emotion that I've been wanting to do as an actor. But when you look like the way I look, with hand tattoos, I'm always getting casted as the bad guy, or
but you know what though. What I found you and I are in that same typecast. What insightful people will realize is that someone who looks like you, someone who looks like me, to get them in a role where they can show some vulnerability is so much more endearing than a guy who already looks soft. Because when a big, seemingly tough guy shows a little emotion, just a little bit, that is just so much more captivating than a regular guy.
I agree. And here's the thing, man. This is why I chose the subject I chose in my script that I'm writing for the class right now.
Yeah.
Right. Like for me, and I'm sure you would agree, is sometimes you kind of have to take, your own path in this Hollywood space. Like for you to be a writer, sometimes you just have to create the fucking best masterpiece you could possibly do and create that path on your own.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly where I was going, is that you and I both have kind of waited. I'm sure it sounds like that's what your experience is, that, you waited for a role that allows you to do what you want to do. And yeah, you shouldn't wait. I came to that realization a few years ago and started writing my own stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. And that's why I started producing stuff. That's why I started trying to help create films that, that give me an opportunity. Like I live in Utah, man. That's why I live full time. And we have a pretty good film community here, but a lot of the film community here is a faith-based market. And I also don't want to get, kind of pigeonholed into that space on its own, right? Like, I love God and everything, man. But like the acting world to me is, I want to conquer that. And that's on the grand scale of things, right? Like I want to do the big market stuff.
Sure.
And so like, there's no scripts out here that I've been excited about besides that Lucy Shimmers one. I was like, okay, I'll do that because it shows more range as an actor.
Yeah.
But I've been hit up for a few others, and I'm like, I have no interest, like zero interest in those. You know what I mean? And as well as like, when you're like, I am currently in a SAG position, right? So when you're SAG, it's like you have to take SAG jobs and you can't take anything outside of that. And then if you're not SAG, well, then you get to play the game and try and find what works for you. And so I, when I landed Mayans, I went SAG. I didn't know anything about it. I was like, cool, because I was so new to acting. I didn't know. And then all of a sudden I'm getting opportunities to do all these independent films. I'm like, I can't. Those aren't SAG, and oh shit. So some people don't go SAG for a while because they wanted to land those jobs. I jumped right into SAG and slowed down some progress potentially. But now when I do audition, I audition for some pretty cool roles. And
yeah, well, I think, if you have a huge opportunity like you did to land on a great show and be a principal right out the gate, then absolutely you should go SAG. That very first gig I had on Kings made me SAG eligible, so I could have, if I had the $3,000 to join at that time, become SAG. What I did though was just built my resume by going, doing lots of non-union
Right.
things.
Yeah.
So, if you don't have an opportunity to, like you did, to do something big right out the gate, yeah, absolutely. It's a good move to do non-union stuff just to get the experience, build your resume, build your reel, and eventually you'll land something that will give you the credits to join SAG, and then of course there's the significant membership fee to join.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I didn't even know all that until they told me to say, hey, that's what actually what happened in mine. It was like season 1, like, hey, we filmed the pilot, and then like 8 months later, they're calling us back for the rest of the season because like it got the green light. We're like, oh, cool. And they're like, okay, so you have to fill out this paperwork. You're SAG now. And so they did the Taft Hartley, whatever the heck it was, or I don't even know what it was called, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Taft Hartley.
And then they said, okay, now you owe this, so this has to be paid before you show up. And me and my wife were like, oh, that sucks. Like, all right, so we have to now find $3,000 to pay just to get into SAG, just so we can actually start getting paid.
Yeah.
Bro, and I was the lowest paid dude in the show, so I was getting paid peanuts just to be there. But I was like blessed, like all hell. Like I'm glad I'm here. You know what I mean? So it's this really weird space in the acting world of it all, and then obviously. So here, when we were talking about earlier, I have made myself valuable for the show as much as possible because the show talks about Border Patrol, the show talks about law enforcement, the show talks about corrections and military. And so like early on, I said, listen, these are all my background. And I sent my resume, like I sent my security resume, right? Like the contracting resume. And I'm like, here's my background. And they're like, oh shit. We were thinking about hiring a Navy SEAL. And I'm like, don't offend me. Like, I love Navy SEALs, but damn, man, I'm right here. Because everyone in Hollywood hires Navy SEALs because they have just the notoriety of being a Navy SEAL. And
that's all it is notoriety, right?
Right. They have the notoriety. And they've been in the game a lot. They've marketed themselves so great.
Yes, they have.
And so I was like,
video games, books, all that.
Everything.
Yeah.
So I gave them my resume, and they were like, oh, okay, so then I guess we'll use you as a tech advisor. I'm like, yeah, whatever you need, And how much they said, how much we had to pay you? I was like, nothing. Just I'll help.
Oh, bro. Well, that was your first mistake.
Yeah, my friend, I don't know anything, dude. I'm just like, in my head, I'm negotiating, like,
for sure.
Keep me around.
Yeah.
And
you're playing the long game. I hear you.
Yeah, bro. Because I don't Mayans fell onto my feet, and my mind was like, stay on this boat as long as you possibly can, and learn, right? Learn. And so that's kind of where I got with it all, man.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's true. I mean, and you just by doing that and showing your willingness to, be a team player and just to participate, just to be there, even if it's, it's not all about the money, that really shows them that you're interested in it. It's a testament to the importance of networking.
Yeah, value. I mean, the value of it is who you know, but it's also the relationships you've built, and how good of a person are you that they want to be around you more, right? Because
that's so important.
There's just like a squad, right? There's just like a squad in Iraq. Like, can I stand the dude?
Because it's similar to being in the sandbox, man. You're gonna spend a lot of time with those people.
Bro.
I mean, being around them, smelling them, even if they're nice people, are they hygienic?
Bro, like after like 3 months on set, like sometimes I just want to go to my room and not see nobody, dog. You know what I mean? Like, I love everyone, but I need my own time.
Sometimes you need to isolate. Yeah,
I need my time, bro, because everything annoys me at one point, right? Like, the way this dude chooses food annoys the fuck out of me. The way,
especially when you've been on set for like 14 hours.
Yeah, you're tired.
Like, for your safety, let me just go to my dressing room for a little while.
Yeah, leave me the fuck alone, dog. I don't want nothing to do with any of y'all right now, man.
Right.
But dog, so question here from Ricky Lopez is, how does one get into acting? And and so That's like a question I get all the time, and I'd love to hear your answer for that. For all the veterans out there that are curious about getting into acting, for anybody wanting to get into acting, what are some of the first steps that you would recommend anyone to do?
Absolutely. You know, like, wow, we live in a day and age where you can just do anything. Like having the internet, having all the resources that provides, it's unbelievable. You can, if you have the drive and the true desire to do something, you can do anything. I mean, I would recommend, um, if you really want to just create in every aspect, do like we were talking about, you know, write your own stuff. I've done short films with my kids that are actually killing it in the film festival circuit. And I filmed it literally with my iPhone and a little special, like a camera that attaches to it. And yeah, I shot it. I edited it on Adobe Premiere Pro, put it out to the film festival circuit. And, you know, I got a lot of notoriety on it. And a lot of people started a career doing that. There's also websites. The two that I would recommend are actorsaccess.com. Again, that's actorsaccess.com. And
You want to type up that link right there, and I'll share it out.
yeah, absolutely. And there's
You're good. Keep going.
yeah, NY Castings. I think NY Castings is bi-coastal. I think that's just the name, NY Casting. If you go to the website, there's an option to set it to any region in which you may live. But
we have an LA casting in the west, on the west side.
Right. Yeah, and both of those. That's actually those are
like Facebooks for acting, right? Those
exactly
right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's that's really where I got a lot of my non-union work, a lot of big non-union work. I'm talking about like when I was that lead on Discovery, a lot of independent films. Even a lot of other TV shows, I got them through Actors Access, through NY Castings, and you set up your little account, you put some pictures up there, and it's a great resource. Casting directors, anyone who's making a TV show that's non-union or a film or a commercial, they go to those two websites and they look there for their actors. And you don't need to have an extensive resume. I mean, a lot of times they look for people with little name recognition because they don't want somebody who has a lot of name recognition.
Yeah, sometimes you want someone to tell the story that no one's seen, so that it doesn't take away from the storytelling.
Absolutely.
Right. I just put the link in there. It says Actors Access. You guys can check that out. If you guys do, seriously, if you're really interested into acting, it's a monthly subscription. Yeah, you set up the account, you put some headshots on there. They could just be really cool pictures you took with your phone. And that gives the casting directors, the producers, a chance to see what you look like and to see if you kind of fit in their head what that means, right? Like when I write something, I have a vision in my head, right? And currently the script I'm writing, it's kind of about my family. The lead is a female. So I'm always thinking in my head, who would I cast for that? You know what I mean? And that's what producers and casting directors are looking for in their head, what they think. And all you got to do is post some pictures and put your resume up, and you could potentially be picked for something.
Absolutely. Yeah. Another one I would suggest, I know they have it in LA and here in New York, is One-on-One. And I'm sure there's other, in fact, I know there are other companies similar to One-on-One, but here it's called One-on-One NYC. I think out west it's One-on-One LA.
One-on-one.
That's how I found my manager. You go there, it's a great resource. You pay like, I think some real nominal fee, like $25, $35 for an opportunity to meet like real legitimate top agents, top managers, and hence the name One-on-One. You get a one-on-one opportunity with them. You get like 5 to like 10 minutes in a room, just you run like a monologue or a scene that you chose, basically to show them your chops. And if they like you, they will bring you in and maybe do a little freelance with you. And if you land some work, they'll sign you, and then you start getting work.
I'm looking for the website on that, and I can't even find it.
One-on-One NYC.
Yeah. One-on-One NYC. There it is, right there. And so I've never heard of this. This is pretty interesting.
Yeah. Great resource.
Yeah. Okay, I'll look into that. You guys, so 21 agents, managers, and casting directors all on there. That's interesting, dude, because I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
I'm actually shopping right now for a manager.
Yeah.
Me and my agent are looking for that. And I'm gonna post this in link as well, so you guys can have that. If you guys need it, use it. But a question coming from Ricky again. Ricky's our talkative one.
What up, Ricky?
He says, "Do you think veterans have an upper hand or bilinguals?"
Oh yeah, yeah, my man. Yo, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Bilingual right now, dude. Hollywood is all about, and maybe you can help me understand when they say Latinx. What is that even referencing? Because I've never understood what what it means. Is it just a terminology that is used now, saying Latins across the board?
Man, well, a lot of people think I'm Hispanic. I'm actually half black, half white. A lot of people out here, especially on the East Coast, think I'm Puerto Rican. But so I don't really have.
You're not Puerto Rican.
Was that?
You're not Puerto Rican, bro. Can you get off? I'm gonna hang up on you now.
Pero hablo español. But yeah, no. So again, I don't have much room to speak on it, but it does seem like a very generic.
It's kind of a broad term for anyone Hispanic, right?
Really generic term
in the Hispanic Latin culture. So you have to get Latin roles.
Who's that? Me?
You? Yeah,
I do, and I have. Yeah. And I've even done some Spanish speaking roles, very short.
That's beautiful. That's good.
Yeah, so, and to speak on Ricky's point, yeah, regardless of what your race is, man, it's so important to be able to speak another language, man, or at least be able to pass, even if you don't just speak, to be able to read a script that's in another language, and to have the accents and the familiarity with that language to at least pass in an audition. Yeah,
bro, I auditioned for and I don't even know if I could say, I auditioned for a pretty big film with a pretty big Latina lead.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Spanish speaking role. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough. And I had to call back kind of, and I didn't get it, but everything was Spanish. Like I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican, and I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I can have the dialect enough, right, to pull it off, especially if I can practice. So what I did was I wrote it all down. I sent it to a buddy of mine who's just fluent as hell, and I set him through the phone. I recorded him, sent him to him. He goes, "Do it again. That one's wrong. Here's like my accents are off on certain things." And once I perfected that, then me and my wife went and did this whole thing. And my agent's like, "Hey, that's pretty good." And I'm like, "Look, man, next year, like my goal next year is to fully engulf myself into Spanish courses to learn Spanish fluently, because I've had so many opportunities in Spanish speaking and acting, and I just don't feel confident enough, bro, to go after half of these things."
Yeah. That I think that's a great investment as an actor, especially as a Hispanic actor, is to just spend a little bit of time with the language.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the other part of his question is, do you think veterans have an upper hand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to my point earlier. That's a great way in the door. That's how I got in the door. I mean, they were looking specifically for guys with military experience, and so many times I've been casted exclusively for that reason, because they wanted somebody who looks realistic, knows how to hold a weapon correctly, just can do battle drills, and just looks the part.
Yeah, and when they ask for military, they're also asking for someone in shape. That's the other side of it.
Someone to shave?
Someone who's in shape.
Oh, in shape. For sure.
Yeah, that's the other side. They want to make sure someone's in shape because they look good. Military and law enforcement, they always want them to look really clean and cut and good. The other side of it is what we learned in the military about being punctual, working hard. You know what I'm saying? Those are the reasons why you can be successful in Hollywood, because long days, we're not afraid of that. We didn't even get paid for those days. You just work tons of hours in the military. In acting and film, you get paid for those hours. So
it's like you're taking, that's exactly what I was thinking. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's the long hours we're no strangers to. The hurry up and wait.
Yep.
Big time, a lot of hurry up and wait. And like we were talking about before, there's going to be a lot of physical demands. Like, people don't realize being an actor, you would think I don't know, there's this misconception that, there's a lot of softies in the industry, and there are, but it takes a certain level of physicality to do some of the stuff that you do. I mean,
Bro, mental toughness.
mental
As much as that
toughness too.
sounds crazy, it's mental toughness to be sitting there for 15 hours, still know your lines and perform when you need to.
Absolutely.
You know, and
Especially
not,
when it gets into the wee hours, you know, of the early morning, and you still need to do a long scene at 1:30 in the morning, and
oh
you've
yeah,
been there
bro,
since 7 a.m. You know.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's people don't realize how hard it actually can be. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I want to, Brian, we're going to get back to your answer in a second, but I want to answer this one. Here's a question right here. It says, what about age? I'm 50. I love this question because you and I know there is no age in acting.
Not at all. Yeah.
Not at all. Kelly, there is no age in acting. They will hire you. So right now, as a 50-year-old female, you can enroll, you can audition for any role from like 40 to 60. It don't matter, you know, and everybody like us, think about just human life, storytelling. There's always a woman in their 50s somewhere. You know what I'm saying? There's a mother, there's a grandmother, there's, you know what I mean? So acting doesn't change for age. Your roles slightly change, and you as an actor kind of have to adapt to that, right? I'm not playing a teenage kid ever again, right? And I'm probably never playing a cop ever again because my hands are tattooed. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's an undercover cop or whatever the case, right? But roles will shift, change through because of age, but that doesn't mean like roles slow down.
Absolutely. You know, like you said, Vincent, you know, it's like real life has people of every type, every age. So even disabilities, man, like there's a lot of actors who are disabled or amputees. I mean, because that's real life, and
Yep.
they do quite well. And I see a lot of castings that ask specifically for amputees.
Yeah, one of my actors out here in Utah landed a gig just because of his leg amputation.
Right. So, you know, as opposed to modeling or sports, it's a beautiful industry to get into because there's just no limitation on anything physical about you, you know.
Yeah. I love this question right here, man. And I want you to answer this. What helps you stand out in an audition?
That's a good question. Wow, just honestly trying to find something that, I mean, being yourself, because everybody's different, you know, and that's what casting directors really want, is just you to bring to the script, to the character, you know, you.
Yeah, I would say, I think it's if you try and step out the box of your own comfort zone, you're not going to perform your best. You're right. You know, and then saying like, be you, whatever choices or bold choices you've made for that character that you're going to go into that room with, own that shit and walk out the room. The truth is, until you become this A-list actor, you're going to audition for a lot of roles and you're going to land maybe 1% of those.
That's right.
Maybe 1%. And so like, I don't even take it personally anymore. I know as a writer and as a producer, you probably visually have something in your head that you're looking for. And until that dude steps up into the camera and he performs as an actor, you know, you're just going to pick what in your head looks like, you know, and that's kind of this weird, interesting thing that I've auditioned for so many roles and I've gotten none. I've gotten one, Mayans, you know, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and so is it frustrating? Yes, but this is also part of the mental, the mental toughness side of it. Is like, you got to not give a fuck about that. You got to just continue, you know, your roles will show up when it's time.
It's just part of the industry, is getting used to rejection. I mean, literally every actor of any caliber has been rejected a dozen plus times. So
yes,
it's a numbers game. You know, the more auditions you go, it's fishing. The more lines you have in the water, the more fish you're going to catch. So
that's why actors they get to a point where they have a manager, they have an agent, they have a PR team. All those are networking for them daily to try and land more opportunity.
Right.
None of them get paid until shit goes down. So now they have more lines, and like you said, more you catch more fish with more lines. That's exactly what that is. Also, good social media presence. Also, not just being an asshole. Also, being good at fucking acting. You know what I mean? Like, be good at this shit. Like, that's the job. And so, if you're really good at it, it's hard for people to ignore you. That's kind of like the world that I live in my head. The mindset is like, the roles will either come to me or they won't. But for me, every time I get an opportunity, I'm trying to fucking kill it, dog, because that's my resume. That's my calling card. You know what I'm saying? And that's my goal. Every time I'm on Mayans, I'm like, give me more. I'll tell Elgin every day, give me more, bro. Like I'm ready. I'm ready, you know, and he's slowly giving me that opportunity. And because I want to show them like, well, there's no stopping me in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I want to do. And so that's what I do every time. I genuinely ask in the most respectful way, like I'm ready for more. Another question
You know
here.
what?
Go ahead, please.
I just want to say, you know, like I kind of chimed in when you said it before. I'm gonna say it again, man. Like, it's so important once you get an opportunity, don't be an asshole, because the industry seems like it's big and expansive and nobody talks, but everybody talks, and you can get blackballed real quick by being an asshole. I've seen it, man. Like, once you get on a set, you need to just realize what a huge opportunity you have and how easily you could fuck it up by being an asshole. So,
bro, but
everyone
on set is valuable, right? It's like everyone brings to the table the makeup lady, the freaking hair person, the guys who clean the toilets, dog. Everybody is valuable. Everybody is super important. And if you don't appreciate any of those motherfuckers, you don't know when down the road that dude becomes one of the biggest producers in Hollywood. You never fucking know. You just treat people good, dog. Treat everyone fucking good. Like, I don't feel like I'm more important than the dude that fucking, you know, that sets up my trailer. I love all those motherfuckers, right? I respect to all of them. And at that moment, when I start to believe that I'm more important than that motherfucker, I don't need to be there no more. That's some asshole ass shit, right? Like, to me, I really, you know, the old school mindset to me is like infantry is everything and fucking everyone else's support. I used to have that mindset, right? We were raised to believe that shit. Yeah. And now I'm like, man, I couldn't do my job if it wasn't for the fucking
They hold us up.
Yeah, bro. And so I have so much more respect for everybody in Hollywood because of it really does take the village, right? To make this all happen. You know,
that's a good lesson for just life. I mean, fuck being an actor. I mean, you should just be like that anyway to anyone. So,
yeah. Everybody treat everyone good. You know what I'm saying? I hate the people that only treat people good because they know they can get something out of them. Like, everybody, I try and treat everybody with the same respect, man. Fuck all that. There's a couple questions we're gonna get out of here. I know we have 5 minutes left, dude. I know I'm taking your time. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get these information. Boom. Do you get paid while filming these roles? So Ricky, if you're doing independent stuff like on a small scale, you might not. Sometimes you're just taking those roles. Sometimes you're just taking those roles to get experience and as well as to build your film reel.
Yeah.
Hey, do you need to get out of here, Street, or are you good?
No, I'm good, man.
Hey, cool. We're going to keep running these questions and then we'll get out of here. We might have to run over a couple minutes late, but let's see. I did some homework myself and believe me, but apologies for the personal questions. And just okay. Ricky's really interested in acting. Hey, Ricky, I'm going to tell you right now, and Matt said it earlier. If you want it, dog, go get it. Like, straight up. Like, there's enough resources and information out there for you to fucking do your own work. And I say that with like the most respect. Like, bro, this will not happen until you make steps towards making it happen, dog. Straight.
Nobody's gonna come knocking on your door begging you to be an actor,
bro. Yeah, you ain't gonna post something on TikTok and all of a sudden you're gonna be a big star, dog. You really have to put in the work. Like, Streeter didn't get to where he got by just sitting on his chair, and I didn't get to where I got. Same thing. Like, you got to do these small things, man. You got to start getting some acting classes or getting experience, whatever your experiences is. Not everyone needs acting classes. I'm just gonna say, you need to get in there and start doing this, right? Whether you film yourself, whether you fucking join a group of people that are already producing shit, get your ass out there and do it. Like, fuck all these excuses, dog. Go. It's like me in the gym. I made a bunch of excuses for a long fucking time. I'm finally back at it. I'm falling in love with fitness again, dog. And it's a beautiful thing, but I realized how long I've been making every excuse in the book and blaming everyone around me. Like, my life is too busy. Fuck that. I'm done with that excuse. I have to get my shit in gear. Look at it. I missed a shot. Let's see. What is this? This says I missed this on Twitch. It says I missed my shot at the new Sopranos movie when it first started filming, and I regret it big time. Oh man, you don't even trip. You'll get the roles that you deserve. Not deserve. You'll get the roles that are kind of meant for you. Any more questions before we get out of here? Take a moment because of the bad. Ooh. You ever have to quit or take a moment because of a bad director? I don't know if it'd be a bad director. I think you're going to get everything, right? and small stuff you get. I did a small thing here one time. I was trying to help with a it's kind of like this troubled teens, and so we were filming this thing, and there was really no organization to it. There was really no director kind of running it, so I kind of stepped up and helped a little bit, and that was like hard because I'm like, look, I don't need to do everything in here. I'm trying to do one thing at a time. You know what I mean? And so you're gonna get good directors. You're gonna get in everything we do. You'll get the far left, the far right of good and bad and tough to deal with and tough to manage. And all I say is I just show up and try and bring my A game every time, and I try not to let anyone take me off that mental state, right? Like just like, okay, I'm just gonna do my thing. You'll get bad actors, and I say bad actors. You'll get actors that aren't performing their best for you because the camera's not on them. You'll get all kinds of things. But those to me are just excuses. If you're a professional, you show up and do your job.
Right. Brian, I just speak from my own experience, but in the 13 years I've been acting, man, like there's a lot of good people on set, man. Very rarely are you ever gonna have issues with people just being a dickhead, because again, it goes back to what I said. I think everybody who is actually making a living as an actor knows the golden rule, man. Like, you don't be an asshole or you're not going to continue to work. So I've met lots of great people doing this. Almost never have I ever, I could think of maybe a couple times where there was an issue, but it wasn't even it was like extras, it was people who just did this, are doing this very briefly, don't really take it seriously. But yeah, you're not going to encounter too many people. Again, that's my experience.
Yeah.
Who are just dickheads so badly to where you need to quit or take a moment.
Yeah. Bro, I brought my dad as an extra once, and he couldn't handle it. He said, Vinny, I'm tired. These days are long.
It's hard work, man, especially if you're an extra, because you're not really getting financially compensated for all that work, man.
I know. I told us.
Yeah, I have respect for that.
It was funny. I said, Dad, well, don't worry about it, man. We got him in a Minds cut one day, and we got the picture, and he's proud of that. But he was like, man, I ain't never getting on set again.
That's cool. You have Pops on there. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it was cool. He was just like, it was. He worked it was like a double. He worked his own shift for he's a medic. He's a set medic for TV shows. And then I called him and said, hey, Pop, there's a chance we're doing a party. Do you want to get in the background? He goes, yeah, Vinny, for sure. Heck yeah. Got him his cut and everything. We took a couple pictures, and then by the end of the night, dog, hey, action. He's like,
yeah.
It's like 3 a.m, dog. 3 a.m, night shot. It's a night shot. Man. And this dude can't even keep his eyes open anymore, man. I'm like, damn, Dad. Like, you gotta go. Man. I called my mom. I said,
hey, Pops, wake up. We're shooting the show over here, man.
You can't be doing this to me, man. This is my job, bro. No. Hey, Streeter, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna have you on here more because I want to talk.
My pleasure, man. I always love helping people out, especially vets. So yeah, anytime. We'll
do it again sometime, but I'll see you next week on our writing course. And again, like I just like what you do, bro. And I want to get you on here and sometimes hearing it from someone else other than my ass. People have more questions and other people have better answers than me sometimes. So I appreciate it, bro. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna throw some sponsors on here, and I'll be heading out here soon.
Cool.
All right, bro. Thank you, dog. Appreciate you. Boom. All right, I pushed this out real quick. We'll get some sponsors real quick, and then we are out of here. Ricky, what was that question? You said something. I saw it. Matt Streeter. I'll try to get you social media next time for sure. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Let's get a couple sponsors. Show them some love, y'all. Go get them. Go pick up some of the items from my sponsors. They are good people doing good shit in the community. And check out Trinidad Jeans. Oh my goodness. I know I have one more. I'm trying to find it. You know what I really like? This video of my daughter coming home. I miss her, so I'm just going to play it because why the fuck not? Love you guys. After this video, I'm going to hang it up.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
How's work? Good. Better than other days.
How's the walk?
It was hot, so I took this off, and then it started getting cold, and then it...
Over there.
No, I'm not wearing makeup.
Go look over there.
Are you joking?
No.
Are you
Go look at it. You like it?
Yeah.
My goodness, I missed that girl. Hey, I love all of you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a good day.